Hey everybody, welcome to our debut episode of TTS Today Classroom. On TTS Today Classroom, we will cover a variety of topics that are computer and technology related, and sometimes things in between. With that, let's start off with Excel's VLOOKUP versus Xlookup. The X and VLOOKUP function searches a specific range of data and then returns the items corresponding to the match it finds. Xlookup was released in 2019 as a successor to VLOOKUP. A few reasons to use Xlookup versus VLOOKUp. VLOOKUP can break if columns are inserted or deleted. It's very restrictive. Columns need to be sorted. Lookup values need to be in the first column of the range. Main reasons to continue with VLOOKUP is compatibility. If you send a file and need the recipient to be able to use the lookup function, VLOOKUP is more compatible. Not available in Excel 2019 or earlier. Familiarity. VLOOKUP is the third most used function in Excel next to sum and average. Head over after this video to my co-YouTube personality Nazar's video that covers the ins and outs of VLOOKUP. So let's head over to Excel and check out Xlookup. So here we are in Excel, and back in my teaching days, I used this very same example to show VLOOKUP. Actually, Xlookup is so new that and something that I use constantly now. I'm going to show you how powerful, but how simple it is to really set up. So here we have VLOOKUP and Xlookup, and I actually have these completed, but I am going to show you a way to add this to an existing spreadsheet. So as all functions in Excel, you start with the equal sign, and you can start typing in the name of the command, and as you see, it does pop up here. I'll hit the tab key. Now here it shows you the lookup value array. It tells you how to build VLOOKUP. There is a much easier way, and I like to call it the wizard, or this FX function, insert function command. So by clicking on that, since I started equal VLOOKUP, once I click on that, it's going to bring me right to the VLOOKUP. If I didn't have anything in here and I hit FX or the wizard, it will show me the last couple of functions that I used, or I can just start typing in the search box and hit go, and it will find the function for me. So double clicking on that, it brings me to the function arguments. So here it's going to explain each value as opposed to typing it out the long way. As you get more used to it, you can type it out that way. This is certainly easier, and I, to this day, still use the wizard to enter functions, especially Xlookup and VLOOKUP, because they have a lot of arguments. So lookup value, and if you read down at the bottom, searches a range or an array for a match and returns the corresponding items found from a second range or array. By default, an exact match is found. So the lookup value is the value to search for. So in this case, I am going to enter a value in here. I have my name in here now, so I'm going to enter that, and notice it puts the cell reference, and it's actually telling you the value that's in there currently. Lookup array. So this is the array where I want to search for this value. So going over to my data, I can highlight, and I'm going to choose cells A2 to A9. I don't want to include the headers, and it shows in here. And notice next to it, as we're typing these in, it will show you what it's finding. So this is all the data that's in there. The return array. Return array is going to be where I'm going to get the answer from. So I'm going to highlight here, and notice it will show us the values that are in there. At this point, I can hit OK, and as you see here, it does give you the answer based on the lookup value, Steve, and the answer is down here. There are two other options, if not found. Actually, there are three other options. If not found, I can say not available. It'll put this standard NA in there, but I can put no value found. I can put any text field in there I want. Match mode. So match mode, something I don't use too often. I usually go by the defaults and search mode, but match mode, by default, 0 is the value. So that would be an exact match. And if it doesn't find anything and nothing is in here, it'll put that asterisk NA in there. If I put a -1, exact match, so it'll return the next smaller item if none is found. 1 exact match returns the next larger item if none found. And 2, you can actually use wildcards. So if I put the number 2 in here and I wanted a wildcard, an asterisk, for instance, STE asterisk, it'll find everything, or it'll find the closest match of that wildcard. You can also put a question mark in here if you want to fill in the V, or you're not sure how to spell something. You can put in question marks. And that would be match mode. So by default, it's going to be an exact match. That's what I use 100% of the time. Search mode, you can search from the last position or from the first position. So basically it searches top down. If you put -1, it'll search in reverse from down up. Again, I usually keep those as default, and I'm going to click OK. And notice it finds the value that it's found. So if I type in Nick, hit enter, it's going to find that. If I type in Joe, no value found, so it didn't find that value. So that is Xlookup. So the nice thing about this function feature, or the wizard as I like to call it, is I can click on it again and make changes. So if I got an error, if it didn't work, by clicking on it again, it shows me all the current values that I have in there, and I can go in there and edit and change them. That is Xlookup, something that I use exclusively because VLOOKUP has a lot of limitations. Not necessarily limitations, but has a lot of structured criteria that needs to be met for your lookup to work successfully. So again, thanks for watching our first inaugural episode of TTS Today Classroom. I'll mention it now. If you have a question not related to our TOE or TTS system, but something technology, computer, something that you have a question about, we'd be happy to create a video of it. So send an email to askttstoday@tradetechsolutions.com, and maybe we'll create a video for you answering your question. So again, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.